Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome viewers once again to my channel. For those of you that are new, you are most welcome. Existing subscribers, of course, most welcome. Welcome to another PowerPoint presentation, and as you can see from the title, today's presentation is called Pictograms. Before we start, just make a plea, please like, share and subscribe to the channel. Once you have viewed the videos, particularly the subscribe, it is very disproportionate. I'm most happy with the viewing figures, lots of people watching, but we need the subscribers to succeed. Okay, as always, have a starter. So how many ways can you think of representing data? So think about the data that we've looked at, which has been in the table format or as, long lists. I'll put this up for 5 seconds and then see what you come up with. Okay. So you might have thought of something like this, which is called a pie chart, something like this, which is called a line graph, or something like this, which is called a bar graph. So we do need to go through these forms of representation, but today we are looking at what's in this line here, which is what's known as pictograms. So those pictures represent the information that they are showing. So pictograms are a way of displaying information from the table that exists or we have created. So they're very widely used in newspapers, magazines and media in general, because obviously they are more pleasant to the eye rather than showing numbers. So what we have to do is to represent one picture of that item to show a number of that item, if that makes sense. So I think if you look at the table, it does. So one apple represents 10 apples. So it would be a very boring picture if we drew, such as the first one. I'll just do that one. Total 30 apples, because each of those is 10. So drawing 30 apples makes it rather boring and not that pleasant to look at. Therefore, we need to have what's called a key, and each picture represents a larger amount. So here the apple is representing 10 apples, and of course half an apple is representing 5 apples. So for red delicious there was 3 whole ones, so that's 30. So for golden delicious we have 2 whole ones and a half, so that's 25, and so on. There are 4 here, there are 2 here, and there are 3.5, therefore that is 35. Okay, so you have to be very careful with these pictures, because sometimes they may give you a larger proportion, and obviously that is where the skill of looking at the diagram or the drawings carefully comes in. Okay, so here's another one for you to have a look at. So again, I'll pause for 5 seconds so that you get a chance to look at them. So remember, one car represents 2 cars, and if it's half a car, then obviously it's going to be 1 car. Okay, so go through the answers. So if we look at the first one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 whole ones and a half. So 5 twos are 10 and 1 is 11. Second one, 2.5. So 2 and 2 is 4 and 1 is 5. And so on. There are 4 cars for green, each representing 2, therefore it is 8. The next one, 4. And for white, there's half a car, and a half a car represents one car, and for others we have 3 whole ones and 1, 6 and 1 makes 7. Okay, so nice and easy. So you really just need to be looking at the pictures carefully. Okay, so here's another one, and I do want you to be careful, like I said, looking at the representation. And you may not agree with some of the numbers that I have, but this is actually taken from a real 11 plus. So a whole sun represents 4 hours, and you need to look at what proportion some of the others are. Okay, I'll leave this for 5 seconds. Okay, so London is quite clearly 2 lots of 4s. That's 8. And look at the next one. We have 4, 8, 12. And they've actually done that as a quarter. 13. So again, you may agree or disagree with that. So there are 13 hours in Dublin. See what you make of New York. So the first one is a whole one, and looking at the second one, it's not really a whole one. I would say it's 3 quarters. So 4 and 3 makes 7. And if we look at the final one, I think that's supposed to represent half. So 4 and 2 is 6. Okay, so do look out for that where you don't have the whole of the picture, and many of them will be obvious, but here we could have debated a little bit, but I think it's quite clear. Okay, so what we get is a information like this, and you need to create what's called a key. So you may be asked to draw one. Highly unlikely, I think, because nowadays you're asked to do so many questions that most of them are either calculations or what we call representations. So we're going to draw this frequency, a pictogram to represent the number of books read. So the key that I've chosen is that one book represents 2 books. So I'm going to pause for 5 seconds so that you get a chance to freeze the screen. Okay, so the instruction is to draw this table into a pictogram. Okay, so this is what you should have come up with. So we call this the x-axis, by the way. And here we've got everybody's name. We've got Alec, Ben, Charlotte, David and Eden. So Alec read 4 books. So he is represented by 2 lots of books. So if we look at Ben, he read 5 books. So that has got to be 2.5 books. Okay, Charlotte read 2, so we just draw 1 there. David read 4, therefore there are 2 books there. And Eden read 7, so that's going to be 3.5. Okay, so that is basically the explanation, and here are 2 more questions that I've found. So first of all, you need to complete what we call the tally chart. So if you look at it, particularly the first one, so this is how we do tallies. So we put sort of straight lines 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1 through. That represents 5. So 5 and 5 makes 10, and in the second one 5 and 3 makes 8. So I want you to complete that bar chart. Nice and easy. I'll pause for 5 seconds. Okay, so it's obviously 4, it's obviously 3, and that is 6. Okay, so here's one for you to draw. So remember, each bottle represents 2 visitors, and we have the frequency table on the left hand side showing 10 for Monday, 8 for Tuesday, 4 for Wednesday, 3 for Thursday, and 6 for Friday. So again, I'll pause for 5 seconds so that you get a chance to freeze the screen, and then I'll reveal what it should look like. Okay, so I'll go through what it should look like. So we've got Wednesday should be 4, so we've got 2 there, and we need another one there. That makes 4. For Thursday, what should it be? 3, so we need 1.5. Okay, and for Friday it is 6, therefore we need 3 of those. Okay, so it's as easy as that. And that is the end of today's session, so I'm sure you will not have any problems with pictograms. So as I say, it's a very, very popular question, sort of almost 100% chance of them coming up, and I'm sure you will be fine in the 11 plus and in the SATs. So just by way of summary, we've looked at questions involved in pictograms, we've learned how to interpret pictograms, and we've learned how to draw a pictogram from a set of data. So as I say, less and less the drawing, more the interpreting really. So that is the end of another session, viewers. I thank you for watching, and I make the plea once again, please like, share and subscribe to the channel. So until the next time, look after yourselves, look after others. Goodbye. अपना ख्याल रखना, दूसरों का ख्याल रखना, दुआओं में याद रखना. अल्लाह हाफिज.